Hey, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Christian Indie Artists and Songwriters. I'm your host, Brian, and on today's episode, I want to talk about something that I feel is pretty important, especially as we're all posting content on social media. What is the way that we can best get our posts and comments and songs and music heard? What is that secret sauce? Well, as we all know, one of the major factors is the algorithm. Now, the algorithm is many things, and it's different across different social media platforms. But if we can figure out a way to give the algorithm what it wants, feed the machine per se, then we have the best chance of our content being pushed out, for one, to our own audience, because we all know that our social media posts actually are only seen by a very small percentage. I've heard 10% across is a decent average across platforms. So that means if you have 1,000 followers, only 100 of your followers are actually getting to even see your posts. That's kind of a problem because we work so hard to build our followers and we work so hard to get engagement and things like that. But then only a small percentage of our audience is actually getting to see our posts. So how do we give the algorithm what it needs to be able to push it out to, for one, our existing audience, and two, our future audience, our new audience? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. I feel like this is a thing, I've spent a lot of time researching. I basically live in YouTube and just reading articles and things like that to try to figure out, what do we need to do to get the most out of our posts? Because at the end of the day, why would we be posting on social media if we didn't want our posts to be seen? So in the beginning of social media, it was all about likes and it was all about views. And although, of course, those things are good, now that's what they would kind of consider a vanity metric. And I think that's because, bots and, fake accounts are able to simulate those things, because you can purchase, 10,000 likes or whatever, and it means nothing, and it makes us feel good, I guess. It releases that endorphin, but realistically, our posts aren't being seen by anyone. So that's a vanity metric. I mean, it's important. Of course, likes are good, but there was a time, and this may still happen, where Instagram was saying that they were going to take away likes so that people could no longer see how many likes a photo got. There's a ton of reasons and maybe psychology behind that, but it just kind of shows that they're not really putting a lot of weight on the actual, the double tap or the like or whatever. So what is the algorithm looking for? Now, again, on different social media platforms, this is different. And I'm considering YouTube a social media platform, even though it's, interesting one, but I feel like it is, and it's a common part of daily life these days. So through my research, I found that the most important metric, it all comes down to engagement, because you can't fake engagement. So it's something that, can't really be bought. And by engagement, I mean comments and shares and saves on Instagram, and also watch time. So these are kind of different categories. And again, I'm trying to generalize here because we just want to get the principles down more so than the actual tactics, because it's going to kind of change depending on which platform you're on. But watch time is, primarily YouTube, and also TikTok is really big on watch time. And I'm sure Instagram is too, and Facebook. They all are, similar. And then engaging comments, you want people to actually engage with your stuff, and then engage back with them too. And that's more than just, smiley faces and likes. And that stuff's fine. It's just a matter of the more engaging comments you get, the more the algorithm sees that this post is successful, because ultimately we know that the algorithm's job is to keep us on platform. And so when it sees that people are engaging and interacting and hanging out on the platform due to your post, then it's going to show it to more people, because logic says that it'll keep people on their platform, and then they can show more ads and things like that. So that's the main purpose. Is, the algorithm's job is to keep us glued to our screens constantly. So we have to fight that on our own, but that is the point of the algorithm. So how do you get people to engage? How do you get comments? How do you get shares? I mean, it kind of takes a lot for someone to say, like, hey, I love this piece of content so much, I want to share it with my audience or with this person, whatever. So how do you do that? Well, that's the main kind of topic of today. What I've learned is that it comes through having posts that are inspirational, motivational, and educational. Now, I'm going to kind of break each one of these categories down. I mean, obviously, we all know what these things are, but in context, my hope here is that you think about, your posts and how this applies to what you're already doing. And the thing is you're most likely already doing this. It may just be a matter of framing it up differently. So, first thing is inspirational posts. Now, the way I look at inspiration is it's more of like the feeling. It's more of like an emotion. You see an inspirational post, you see something that's like feel good or makes you feel inspired. You're like, yeah, I can do that. That makes me excited. That makes me feel happy to see someone succeeded, or, that Bible verse really spoke to my heart this morning and just makes me feel like, yeah, God is for me. What can come against me? Whatever it might be, there's a lot of inspirational things out there. So when you think about your posting, like how can you do things to inspire other people in somewhat like in an emotional way? It's not a manipulative way. It's something that's inspiring to you, has a great chance to inspire those who follow you. So that's the first thing, is inspirational. The second thing is motivational. Now I look at this as inspiration and motivation are definitely similar, but I think motivation is more along the lines of bringing people to take action. It's more of a physical thing. It's like, hey, I feel motivated to go do that. Man, I saw that person post that they just biked for 25 miles. I'm going to go get in the bike today. I'm motivated to do something. I saw somebody, they wrote a song or they sang a song that was really great. I'm going to go pick up my guitar, sit down at the piano and write something or sing that song. It's motivating me to actually take action. So that's a really important thing. And those are the type of things that, when you cause someone to feel motivated, we all know that when we're motivated, when we're really into something, we tend to share that, whether it's like talking to people that we know or in social media cases, like sharing with people that we know. So motivational is sort of infectious, just like inspiration is. So it's a great idea to keep that in mind of how to actually motivate people to take action. And the third is educational. Now, this is probably the one that I am the most frequently doing and interested in, just because it's the way that I think and the way that I interact, especially in the internet. I'm on YouTube, a lot. I love learning about stuff, and I feel like YouTube is a great place to do that because I love the educational aspect. I mean, if you look at my channels that I'm subscribed to, it's probably like 98% are educational platforms, people teaching me about how to write better songs, how to do better production, how to market on social media. It could be a wide range of things, but I feel like the things that I'm interested in are educating me so that I can go out and learn and I can grow in what I'm doing. And so I'll say too, a goal would be to create content that is inspirational, motivational, and educational all at the same time. So we're all experts at a few things, maybe many things. So how can we teach people? How can we show people to be able to do something based on our knowledge and our unique giftings and talents? Those are the type of things that I feel like if you teach them how to do something, it may inspire them. They may feel emotionally drawn to be like, man, I could do that. He or she just showed me, that's something I always wanted to know how to do. And that seems easy to me. I feel inspired. You know what? I'm going to actually do that. Then they're motivated to do that. So that all comes, it's like a loop, it's an inspirational, motivational, educational loop. So then once they do that thing, based on your content, maybe it's a series of things, maybe it's one post, whatever it might be, then there's a chance that they're going to start putting that information out there themselves as they are digging into that world. And then you can collaborate with that person perhaps. And then you can motivate and inspire each other. But it kind of all comes back to you initially putting that kind of content out there. Those are the main categories on how to create engaging content. It needs to be inspirational and or motivational and or educational. But the hope is that it's all three. So you're probably already doing this, and maybe not even thinking about it. It's just how you post things. But it could be just a matter of tweaking it a bit and reframing the way that you're actually posting. Maybe it's in the caption, maybe it's your CTA where you're putting a call to action. And instead of just posting like doing something, it's, you taking a jog or whatever it might be, you're actually framing up, be like, hey, like I started this workout regimen, at this point, and over this many days after doing this, maybe that's the diet, whatever it is, like now I've become to this level. So you're kind of giving backstory, you're giving some inspiration and motivation to see, like, it wasn't just like, the before and after, because those can be inspirational. But I feel like the educational, motivational aspect comes in the story, comes into the line in between the before and after picture, if that makes sense. It makes sense in my mind. So that's a key element to getting people to engage with you, is you have to put things out there that actually can cause people to take action and do something about it after they're inspired and educated in what that thing is. So in recap, I would say that, as we are spending our time and energy and thought behind our social media, and I know I haven't necessarily talked a lot about music or artistry or songwriting today, But, it all comes within our own context. But as we're spending the time and energy to build a social media audience, because like Graham Cochran says, with an audience, anything is possible. So I think it's really important to build our audience, because the more people that we can reach will directly correlate to the people that we can actually impact. And, through our music and through our artistry and through our beliefs and everything that we are, the larger amount of people that we can reach, the better we can do to actually make some impact. So that comes through creating engaging, shareable content that people want to watch all the way through. It's different for platforms. TikTok, YouTube, very big on the watch time. They want people to watch, and there's all kinds of breakdowns. And maybe we can do future episodes on those exact things. If you have any questions about that, send a message, an email to contact@brianbolivar.com, and I'd love to talk to you about that in detail, any questions you might have. But as we create these posts to engage people, we want them to inspire, to motivate, and to educate. I have a challenge for you. Look at the last 5 or 10 things you've posted and see, do any of those posts fall into one of these categories, or 2 categories, or all 3 categories? And then compare the engagement, the reaction. Even look at the Vanity Metrics. Do those posts have more likes? Do those posts have more shares? Do those posts have more comments? And I bet you that they will. So you're already doing this. It's not something new you have to add to your arsenal. It's literally just reframing what you're already doing into a more inspirational, motivational, educational way. You can do it. You're already doing it. And again, if you have any questions, shoot me an email. Also, we'd love to connect with you on our Facebook group, the Christian Indie Artists and Songwriters Facebook group. So head over there, join in. We are talking about this kind of stuff all the time. It's just a bunch of Christian Indie Artists and Songwriters doing exactly what you're doing, just trying to figure out how to navigate, this social media landscape, and how to get impact and get these songs for God out there to impact the world for Him. So I hope that this made sense. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing your posts. If you have a post that you feel is a really good inspirational, motivational, educational post, tag me in it. I'd love to see it and engage you that way. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.